usual delay. Good evening and welcome to the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show. I am your host, BA. I'm here with Keith Engel, James Martin, and Bo Crouch. How you fellas doing this evening? It's our first show in the new year. Happy New Year to everybody, by the way, that's catching the show.
That's right.
And it's we're going to be saying this for a couple of days on these shows. But the new year is getting started off with a bang as far as sports is concerned. Coaching firings, some that we knew and some that we didn't. We got college playoffs coming up this weekend. Bo is going to be, not Bo, but Keith is going to be all into that. I don't know, but Bo, do you like Oregon? You're an Oregon fan, or are you just
UW? No. I'm a Husky fan.
Yeah, you're a Husky fan. Okay.
I love the fact that Oregon flames out before they win a title.
Again Friday.
Yeah, they might be doing it. Yeah. But we'll start off with the college football coming up here this weekend. Of course, we have the two matchups, Ole Miss and Miami, and those aforementioned Oregon Ducks versus Indiana Hoosiers. These, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, these are interesting games. They're all gonna be exciting to me. I don't know about you guys, but this is probably the best group of college playoff teams I've seen in a while. You don't know what's going to happen. Me figuring Indiana's probably going to shellac Oregon like they did the last time they played them, but you never know. College football. And Miami or Ole Miss thing is just got so many things over it right now with the coaching situation with Ole Miss, Miami beating the odds over Ohio State. And that's just a great format too. What are you guys' thoughts on these games?
I agree with that. I love the matchups. I love the storyline. Just storylines in both games, and there's no lack of them. And I love the I just love the feel of this. I haven't had a good feel for this whole playoff, I guess, until Miami actually won a game. But to be fair. But I'm excited. I think Ole Miss, I think the coaching situation is rectified. I think they're all going to be there that were there last week, which I think is fair. And, look, we all know the mess the NCAA is, and don't screw over Ole Miss, I think, because of it. I looked for that game to be really exciting, and I think Ole Miss has a better chance to beat Miami than Ohio State did, quite frankly, based on what I have seen of Ole Miss, just because of the mobility of the quarterback and some of the weapons there. I think Carson Beck is going to have to step it up a little bit in this game if they're going to beat Ole Miss. I expect them to win, but I expect it to be a good game. The other game, Bo kind of said about Oregon flaming out. I expect them to flame out again this week. Indiana just finds a way to get it done. Indiana's better in every facet of the game than everybody else in this playoff. And they do it more consistently than the others. They don't turn the ball over. They got a really good quarterback, obviously, and Heisman winner and probable number one pick. And they got a coach who just wins. Go Google him, because that's all he does. I love this guy. And he backs up. He's cocky and he backs it up all the time.
He's not wrong. And of course, my favorite Duck fan in the house here, and of course, as a Husky fan, let me just say, y'all have 1,000 jerseys and 0 titles.
Hey, oh man,
is that all? Is that all the jerseys they have?
That being said, my team isn't in it at all. So good on the Ducks. I think this is probably the end of their run, though. Indiana looks. They look like the team to beat. And then on the other end, Ole Miss is a fun story. Miami's defense is probably too much.
I'm going to have to go with the same teams. I think that Ole Miss is – if this is a situation where the coach, I mean, Keith, if you can clarify that for me. From what I heard, that the only coach that's going to be with Ole Miss is Charlie Weiss Jr. I thought the other ones were
That's
not.
what I heard early in the week. I read yesterday, and I'll try to confirm it while we're chatting here, but I think I read this morning all the coaches that coached last week will be with Ole Miss this week.
So that's what I heard as well.
Yeah.
Is they have their full complement that were there the last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, yes, they're just going back and forth from Baton Rouge to
that's all.
Oxford. And they're working a little bit extra duty. With that said, this is the second time I heard you mention UW, and there's some news regarding, I mean, as much as we're trying to focus on the playoffs, Lane Kiffin's name is going to be in the mix again. And your quarterback, Damon Wilson Jr., is he's got a contract, which is another question that's going to come up amongst the NCAA and every NIL and everything else. He's going against his contract and putting his name back into the transfer portal. And there's news that this is a guy that was recruited by Lane Kiffin before he went to Arizona, and he ended up transferring to Washington. He's got 3,000 yards, passing, 25 TDs, 6 touchdowns, rushing, 600 yards rushing. There's huge speculation that LSU's trying to grab him to give him a higher offer and bring him down to Baton Rouge. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that? And what do you think about the fact that contracts are not ironclad in college football? And so, what are they going to do to rectify that type of situation?
So they are in the way that the kid's going to get sued.
Yeah.
Because he put pen to paper. And so, like, it'd be one thing if he had the contract, didn't sign it, and he showed it around to get a better offer. Cool. That happens all the time, right? When you're applying for jobs, you're like, hey, I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at this one. This is what they offered me. What do you got? That's fine. When you sign a contract, 2 days later, you break that said contract, you're going to get sued. You know?
This was happening with Wisconsin and Miami, Keith. There's Xavier Lucas, I believe, the DB.
Yeah, that's been going on for like a year. I don't know where that even stands. That's been a long going issue. And listen, a lot of these teams are starting to put language in the contracts that there will be specific buyouts if they were to leave, just like the coaches. And that's going to be the final resolution. Is everything's got to have pen to paper, as Bo said, and there's not going to be anything that's not. You had the situation in Vegas last year with their quarterback. You're not going to see that stuff happen. They're going to get their money if they sign it, and they're going to lose their money if they leave and go somewhere else for more money. So it'll slow them down? I doubt it, but
you're going to have congressional legislation to step in.
Do we really? Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah. I mean, because otherwise this is going to continue to happen.
Doing it.
No, they're definitely not going to do it.
They don't have the cojones to step up and enforce their own or put any rules in place. They set the wrong precedent from the very beginning when they said, well, we'll just let the teams, set their own.
Yeah, just do whatever you want. Yeah.
That's like giving the bank robbers the keys to the bank. That's just ridiculous. So,
I mean, tampering is the big tampering is the big thing here, and that's what's going on. And you're allowed pretty much, if you're not going to stop me from tampering, I'm going to do it, and that's just what it is. And I mean,
imagine a tampering that's going on in the Ole Miss practice fields this last couple of weeks.
Oh, without a doubt.
No, and that's why I say this is the backbone of the NCAA.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing.
Totally squid. Yes.
And if there's anybody who could screw it up worse than the NCAA, it would be the Congress. So I really don't want them in here putting their fingerprints all over this. It's already a big enough mess without them getting involved.
At the same time,
because we're going to fill some
two of those idiots working together.
Oh my God! Maybe it'll be like a monkey type at a typewriter. They got to type a word right eventually, right? So maybe they could, if they put their heads together, we can get something done here.
But my picks, again, going back to what we were talking about, college playoffs, the Final Four. I got Indiana versus Miami.
Yeah.
The other big story too. Everybody hates on Lane Kiffin, right? With good reason. But anybody who says, it's killing him every time Ole Miss wins another game,
He's getting paid.
He's getting paid. He's already made $750,000. He's in line to make another $1 million if they were to win the national championship. I think he's really upset.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like,
he's rubbing his hands, man. Just like
keep on winning.
Anytime a place I worked wanted to keep sending me checks for me to not show up, I'm in.
Let me know where you got that job.
And the thing that's funny is if Ole Miss loses at any point, they're like, it's because the coach wasn't there. And if they win without him there, they're like, look at the team he constructed. Like, no matter how it goes down,
I don't think
he comes out looking awesome.
Yeah.
He can recruit all based off of this. I'm not even there, and look what I built there.
Yeah.
That's just it. It's like, wow. It's actually kind of genius, actually. I
kind of think the first part of that might be diluted a little bit now, though, that, if he's not there and they lose, it's because they've already shown they can win without him there. They beat Georgia without him. Of course, the first game against Tulane was Tulane, but, Pete Golding's done a good job. He was smart enough to bring, I don't know if Joe Judge is the right guy, but at least he was smart enough to bring guys in to help him navigate some things he wasn't familiar with as a head coach. And I think he's done a great job. Pete Golding's got to be given a lot of credit here for keeping the ship afloat. Yeah. And the players too.
Yeah. I mean, the players look like they're bought in. So,
yeah, 100%.
But still, you got. The only thing I'm going to just give credit to is, I give credit to Pete Golding, but he had the full staff minus the head coach. The rest of them came. They showed back up. It's just you pretty much had everything in place. Yeah. You just didn't have Lane Kiffin there in the building.
Just don't screw it up. So again, you got to give the guy credit for not screwing it up. I mean, a lot of guys would have screwed it up. So. Mm-hmm. But I do wonder if those guys had left, like Lane said, you can't go back. If you want to come with me, you don't go back. If that had happened, I wonder what would have happened to Ole Miss. We'll always wonder.
You got to think about it. The majority are offensive, coaches. And it makes a big deal. Each group matters. Yep. Each coach matters, man. People might not think it does, but there's a reason they're there. They have their positions for a reason. Yeah. And that matters, especially now in that particular instance where it's win or go home. And I really, I'll speak on this one more time and I'll leave it alone. But Trinidad Shambliss, LSU would have went after him instead of Damon Wilson if it wasn't for the fact that he has the potential waiver that hasn't been approved to be able to come back for one more year. And that's the reason why he declared Ole Miss on Monday, because LSU started putting other guys, Sam Levitt from Arizona State, and of course Damon Wilson now. They're looking at other guys now because they can't wait to see if this guy's not, and that's going to put Ole Miss in a pickle, because he declared for them. But if he doesn't get, if he doesn't get that waiver, he's got to go to the NFL, that's the only option for him.
And he hasn't boosted his draft stock that much, by the way. He's going to get drafted, but he's not going to be I don't think he'll get drafted the first 2 days.
No, but I'll be honest with you. Him playing the way he's playing, I think he'll have an opportunity to at least make a roster.
Yeah,
get a roster.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson's going to the draft. So
good luck, Ty.
Speaking of quarterbacks that are going into the draft, the Indiana Oregon game is an interesting factoid because both of those are first and second consecutive quarterback picks in the first round, supposedly. Do you think that this game will determine which one goes first and which one goes second?
I don't know. Jack and I talked about this. Jack really thinks that if one stands out Friday night, it would make a difference. I don't think it's going to make that big a difference if somebody plays much better than somebody else. I think these teams have enough film of other games that this one game will not determine. Listen, I think that Dante Moore has a higher ceiling than Mendoza in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of them will reach it. I think, for 1 and 3 or 1 and 2 or 1 and 5 or wherever they go, I think is too high for these two guys. But I think Dante Moore has a better as I said, higher ceiling than Mendoza.
Yeah, the only way that either one of these guys have any movement within their draft stock is if they just melt down in the championship game. Like, that's the only way I see that being a thing. Like, if you get in onto the biggest stage and you just look unprepared and fall apart, that's the only way that happens. Otherwise, no, you're kind of locked into kind of where they are.
My thing is, in regards to Dante Moore, he's not going to be above Mendoza in the the pecking order of the.
I don't think he'll get drafted ahead of him. No, I don't.
But this is my one caveat here. Let's go back to 2004, 2005 when USC played against Texas and Vince Young played the game of his life and dominated that game. If Dante Moore can have that type of performance against Indiana and whomever they play in the championship, he may propel himself a little bit higher than maybe ahead of Mendoza. And I think I like what you said about him having a higher ceiling, but I think the prospect of him would have more viewership, and I think if he has a good combine as well to go along with that, he could be the number 1 overall draft pick.
If they show up to the combine, and these guys don't even show up anymore when they're going to be top 5, true. Top 10. They have their own private workouts. And we'll see. The combine gonna be. The combine now is for guys who need to get seen, right? So,
I mean, in the draft, but I pay attention to a few of the draft parties that are out there. One of them is Draft Buzz. I usually kind of go with them a lot. They have Dante Moore ranked just above Mendoza as far as the ranking, as quarterback rank. As far as the players in general are for the draft, they have him ahead. So that's why I just asked the question, because some of them have that as a caveat. So
yeah, except you got to think that the Raiders have the first pick. So I think Brady wants to go with the Heisman winner.
I think so too.
Definitely. I would think so too. Yeah,
definitely.
He needs to do something. Get out of hot water over there.
This is just as new a quarterback class as I can remember in ages. It's just not good. It's not deep for sure, and even the top 2 are not, franchise-altering quarterbacks in my mind.
It hasn't been good in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all the quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round were not that good in the first place. I mean, Cam Ward.
What are you talking about?
That's
you talking about this year?
That's why I made the argument that anybody that was a first round pick this last
season.
Come
on, no. Last year was pretty good, man. Come on. I mean,
2 years ago.
More barring
2 years ago.
Like years ago.
2 years ago.
Wait. Oh yeah, 2 years. 2 years ago. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Because this last year, if the guys that went in the first round this last year had come out the year before, they wouldn't have been in the first round.
Right.
At best, Cam Ward would have been a second rounder. Everyone else.
2 years I'm talking about is this coming up season and the last season.
Yeah.
I'm not talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, if you look at the 2 guys that are coming out this time, and you did that 2 years ago, I'm not convinced they would be a first rounder.
I would agree.
And who knows? Maybe one will prove us wrong, and they'll come out and just crush it. But
it happens.
If I had to do a redraft for this year, I'd definitely put Tyler Shuck in the first round for sure.
I might be
hard. I mean, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue his play. Mind you,
but yes,
mind you, he didn't play the first half of the season. Yeah,
he's done a lot with a little in that system.
Oh man! Oh, are you kidding me? Who's Ronnie Bell? You guys, can you tell me who Ronnie Bell is?
No. That's what I'm saying.
Bucks back in the day,
right? Exactly. Huh? Yeah, he scored a touchdown at the end of the game.
BBD.
Yeah, exactly. He's from New Edition, BBD for sure. He's a combination of Ricky Bell and Ronnie DeVoe. Yes.
All right.
That's the most common name in the NFL, because I know Michigan had a Ronnie Bell too. receiver.
I think that's where he came from.
Isn't he he's a tight end? Is he a receiver?
Who
He's
is
a
Ronnie
receiver,
Bell?
I think. Yeah.
Now I want to know who is
then
Ronnie
that's
Bell. I
probably
don't
the
know
one.
the answer. I'm joking around. I don't even know who he is. Who is he?
He caught a one-headed catch in the Saints Falcons game, and
Oh, I saw
he's
that.
he's a practice squad guy,
All right.
along with Dante Pettis and Kevin Austin Jr. I mean, that kid is amazing. That 4th and 4 pass to his left was just incredible, man. It's like, wow.
You got yourself a guy there in Shook.
Ooh, I didn't know what we had at first. I had to do a lot of research on him when we picked him. I was mad we didn't get Shedeur Sanders, and I was wrong. Totally wrong. I did a lot of research on him and saw he's had 7 years of bad luck, and last season was his best season, and they did their research. The scouts department knew what they were doing and got him 40th overall. That's a steal, man. It's a steal.
And kind of transitioning into the NFL, do you think Shadeur's in the driver's seat now that Stefanski is gone?
No
Yep,
way.
I do. I think if Stefanski signed on to Shedeur being a quarterback, he'd still be the coach. And whoever gets a job is going to have to accept that Shadeur's a quarterback.
Well, that definitely drastically changes who applies for that job.
I agree.
Because, I mean, and it's actually why I made the argument Harbaugh, because people were asking me, do you think he goes there? And I'm like, first, why would you go from a prominent, stable franchise to the most dysfunctional franchise in the league, and then go somewhere where your quarterback is being dictated to you, regardless of what you will fit your system better? I mean, wild situation. I don't see any top level guy going there. I see a first year guy maybe giving it a swing, but I don't see anybody that's like, hey, this is what I need to win, because once you get there, you're getting none of those things unless the ownership wants you to have it.
Right. And the ownership is calling the shots, and that's why, and they love Shedeur. He loves Shedeur. So,
which
I wouldn't doubt it either. I wouldn't doubt Deshaun Watson gets an opportunity as well, because that's where the money is specifically.
Yeah.
And good evening, Rich. Man, look, I liked Shedeur, and I liked his game there. I just think, it was, again, playing with part-time Uber drivers and some dishwashers in the building. I just think it's going to be they need to draft and maybe get a Cornell Tate there, get some interior offensive linemen in free agency, which everybody needs. Seem like.
I'm not sitting here telling you he can play, because I don't know. I don't know if he can play or he can't play. Anybody who tells you either or doesn't know what they're talking about, because there's no way to know.
Yeah.
And we might never know.
Like that's the hardest part, is you're just like, okay, his numbers are almost the same as Gabriel. He ended up with a couple extra wins, but a lot more interceptions. Yeah. And outside of that, the numbers are pretty even. So you're like, okay, nobody's really winning in this program. You had Flacco there. He didn't do anything either. So, I mean, you look at the 40 names that go on the back of a jersey at quarterback, and when you think of how many quarterbacks they had just during Stefanski era, like, excuse me, I don't see anybody having great success there, because they still have the quarterback problem that they had, regardless of who's coach.
Didn't they have a quarterback? They were.
My thing is, then maybe I'm about to say maybe the situation wasn't the quarterbacks. Maybe the situation was the coaching.
No,
I mean, if you're supposed to be the quarterback guru, if you're supposed to be the guy that's two-time offensive, I mean, you got to find some sort of success with quarterbacks there. If you got 13 quarterbacks under your watch, and this is what
he's getting
13 quarterbacks. You got to find some way to get the job done.
If you're getting dictated the quarterbacks you get to use, though, that's the problem, right? Like, he drafted Gabriel because he's like, this guy fits my system. We have Flacco here because we need that veteran thing. And then they throw another one in, and then there's so much pressure to start Shedeur ahead of Gabriel from the top within the organization. You never even really get the full use of Gabriel. And I'm not saying Gabriel is great, I'm not saying any of that.
He wouldn't push the ball down the field is my thing, is that he didn't go past 10, 15 yards. I mean, that's legit stats at all. I don't know if that was purposely driven by the coach. I don't know, to keep him successful. It didn't happen. And then when Shador comes in, he throws the ball down the field. I mean, you see what he did with Isaiah Bond with that 55-yarder down the field. That didn't happen at all with Dylan Gabriel at all. I get it. Like you said, the numbers are eerily similar, but I mean, he did at least attack down the field is what I'm saying.
Oh,
even with the terrible offensive line.
I'm just saying the sample size wasn't that great, because it's not like he started from the beginning of the year. Flacco started 5 of those games, or 4 of those games, and then he gets, a 7-game stretch, and then he's yanked. Think of great quarterbacks that were just awful their first season. Peyton Manning is a great example.
He's a wonderful.
He was terrible, right?
Elway too.
If you yanked him after 7 games, you have no idea what he would have been.
Yeah.
Right.
But I get it from the coach. I mean, from the owner standpoint, which is probably your point, is that they wanted to try both out. And now, mind you, one of them had first team reps, and the other didn't have any at all.
Well, they were limited. They were still limited first team.
But they were there. It's still there. I mean, it's still some versus none is a big difference. Is still a bigger difference.
But I mean, it's not uncommon for your second string guy to not get first team reps.
Of course.
So Gabriel didn't have like crazy amounts of first team reps because Flacco had a lot of them. And so he got some, sure, because it was a veteran in front of him. And then people were mad that Shador wasn't getting them. It's like, well, no kidding, because your now starter didn't get that many of them to begin with. So of course he's getting all of them because he needs to get all of them. Basically,
for sure.
We don't really know if Shador or Gabriel could be functional. We have no clue because ownership came down and blew this whole thing up before it even got started.
The same guys who chased Baker Mayfield out of town, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't the coach. It was the owner.
No, in fact, they went to a playoff game and won.
Yeah.
Right? First time for...
When you talk about Stefanski and quarterbacks, I believe if Baker Mayfield hadn't been chased out of town by the upper management,
yes,
I believe things would have been different there. Stefanski's going to have a job this year. He's not going.
For sure, without a doubt.
He's a good coach. He coached here twice in the last 5 years or something, right? 6 years.
I look at Harbaugh and Stefanski as Harbaugh probably goes to the Giants. Stefanski is probably in Atlanta because those are the two teams that are good coaching away from turning their franchises around, right? The Giants, they got a top 5 pick. They have a bunch of talent, young talent, right? They need a coach that can get out of their own way. You look at Atlanta, littered with talent. Most of what we've talked about over the last couple of years is the fact that they can't coach it and get it to do anything on the field. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't get somebody that is an offensive mind, quarterback guru, you got 2 of them in the room. Right. Pretty sure you can figure something out there. So, especially in a division that, isn't awesome. So those 2 guys probably go to those. The other jobs they're not as attractive as those 2.
No.
Right.
Well, to Robert's point, he thought, Harbaugh going to Cleveland. But, Robert, in my opinion, I don't know about the rest of the panel, but to me, that's career suicide for Harbaugh.
I would never. Why would there's no?
That's a young coach's place to go to.
Yep, great.
There's no upside. Like that is a legacy killing stop.
Cardinals as well. I would call the Cardinals the same thing. They have there's no light at the end of the tunnel right there now. I mean, those are 2 tough jobs to fill.
Yeah, and Scott, no, I don't think Kubiak goes there. I think I don't think he is a fringe coordinator that has to take the first thing available to him. I think he's going to actually get a decent job. So if that's the only one available to him, although he is interviewing in a couple other places, including Atlanta and Tennessee, I don't think of those locations he would go to the Cardinals.
I like Clint Kubiak. Obviously, he was the offensive coordinator in New Orleans, and I think he got a bad deal because of injury and because, I mean, he didn't make adjustments with the players there. But I mean, you guys have you have the players there, and you have very few injuries there, and so you can see what he's done with the talent there, with the quarterback and your running backs and receivers. He's just done a great job there, man. And so I didn't know he was even in the running for a job. Yeah, so he's probably gonna get it too.
Remember, there was a time when coordinators were not saying no to any head coaching job. Now they can kind of pick and choose. Ben Johnson waits 3 years basically till he finds the job that he wants. And I don't remember them being in this type of position 10 years and more ago. Got off your job, you couldn't turn it down.
He's got it. But you said he's got a interview with Atlanta.
Who? Kubiak?
Yeah.
He's supposed to have one with Atlanta and with Tennessee. Now, if the one that Rob is talking about is accurate, Baltimore, I could see him taking that.
You can't see him taking the Atlanta job?
Oh no, I could. I just mean I don't see him taking like a Browns or Arizona or something like that. Atlanta, absolutely. I could see him taking that. I could see him taking Tennessee potentially. Not that it's a great job, but it's a tough one. But at the same time, you're almost guaranteed time there, which is something the rest of these don't necessarily do. And that's exactly why you didn't see coordinators turning down jobs before, which is the question I was really going after is you didn't get coaches fired constantly because you just had a random bad year and 18 years of being great get you fired. Now it's what have you done for me lately? You could have won a Super Bowl and you can get canned in this league now. So if you are
John Harbaugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's.
That Super Bowl was a long time ago, though, man.
Well, we watched it.
It was, yeah.
He won a ring.
Wasn't. He does have a ring
next year, and then was gone.
Yes, the ring looks like it's from 1978.
They've been very consistent.
Patience is not one of the virtues of any of these NFL teams.
But they've blown a couple of years in these prime years of their team. That's been some blown moments. I'm not just blaming the coach. I mean, just everybody. You can go from Lamar, you can go from Andrews, you can go from a lot of people who are just like, wow, you just man, you missed out. This team's really talented.
Clear, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, James, that this was the quarterback or the coach, and they chose the quarterback. So
yeah.
Well, how we got to this point?
Yes. Well, I want to say this: if I'm Kubiak, what we're talking about, your guy, I probably would hesitate on Atlanta. Only reason why I would hesitate on Atlanta is because the quarterback position and not knowing whether or not I'm going to have a healthy Michael Penix, or who's had plenty injury history in college and now it's the same issues with his knee, and whether or not you're going to have. I think they're restructuring the contract for Kirk Cousins, but that's whether or not to send him off somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he's going to stay.
This year was the last of his major money anyway that he was guaranteed. So if they restructure, it's just that third year that doesn't have a lot of guaranteed money. I think his third year guarantee is only 10 mil. There's just a cap hit that they'd probably want to extend out over some stuff. But that would just be so that he doesn't bury the team. But I mean, at the same time, there's just a lot of talent on that roster, right?
Right.
Like you got a running back, you got a nice tight end, you have some weapons. The offensive line isn't terrible. The defense can do some stuff. That whole situation came down to just coaching, forgetting that they had monsters on their roster. Like the fact that you had Bijan just not get touches in games. You're just like, what are we doing? Which is what led to some of Harbaugh, right? Like you have an 11-point lead against New England, and then you just sit Henry down. This last week, again, almost no touches in the second half. Like, what are we saving him for? The idea is to win the game, right? I'm pretty sure that's why we play. So
Herm Edwards said it. Herm Edwards said we did.
Right?
Yeah.
You play to win the game.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And if you want to quote Denny Green, they let them off the hook. They are who we thought they were. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, Baltimore's fans, they've been calling for John's head for the last 3-4 years. And you watching some of their games, I can understand where they're coming from, because he's made some, even before Henry got there, he was making some pretty bad in-game decisions. And it's like, what? Why did you do that, John?
I will bet anybody on this panel right now that the Baltimore Ravens do not have the same kind of consistency over the next 18 years as they had over the last 18.
Oh, no question.
That wager, I won't be here to pay off, but I'll be dead.
Let's hope not, sir. Let's hope not.
Way to put a dark cloud on that situation.
Boy, talk about unprofessional. Professional. My goodness.
I like Harbaugh as a coach. I really do. I think he's a whiner and a crier on the sidelines, watching him as an opponent. But I think he's a really, really good coach, and somebody's going to get a good coach. Yeah, and I think it might be the Giants, quite frankly.
I really think they're the ones that get him.
Yeah,
and that's a good fit.
Who do we think the team with a coach called him? Is it the Cowboys?
It's Miami.
Is that Miami?
Oh, it's got to be Miami.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought about
coaches. How we got to this point, though, our friend and panelist here, Bo Crouch, was 7 for 9.
Not too bad.
Go to Vegas, man.
I'm coming too, brother.
No, don't go to Vegas. This was a lot easier than Vegas. I wouldn't go there.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa may have given him a call, although Tampa, I mean, they've really maximized they've really maximized what they could do with a team that had everybody hurt most of the season.
And I think Bowles is staying. Though,
no
right?
question.
Yeah, Bowles already said that his job was going to continue on.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a team that's won their division 3 times, and the year they didn't, they had their entire roster hurt. So
yeah,
I cheated.
I can't put that
it's funny because I put this list out here before any of them got fired. So
right. He sure did.
On this show right here, in fact.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, yes.
Bostradamus.
Right.
And I'm still not sold that McDaniel doesn't get fired. Right? Like if the different GM comes in and says McDaniel isn't the guy, there's a chance McDaniel could still go. Zach Taylor, for whatever reason, the GM and him are safe. Man. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm like, well, cool. Maybe I'll just not watch football next year.
The Bungles keep bungling. Yeah,
I mean,
my goodness.
You know that Burrow's going to be healthy next year because he only plays every other year, and he was hurt this year. So he'll probably be healthy.
I know one thing about Mike McDaniel. The grumblings have been getting a little bit louder about coaching changes in that organization. And it's come from a lot of media sources too. So it's kind of like, Mike McDaniel might be the 8th one on this list.
I really think there's a chance. Yeah. That he still goes.
There's a chance.
The only thing that makes me think that he's a little safer than he should be is the fact that it sounds like he's going to be involved in the GM hire. And if that's the case, then he's fine. If he's getting input on the GM that's coming in, then yeah, he's going to be there for another year.
100%.
But if they bring in a GM independently, a lot of GMs have a coach in mind.
Now, out of these names that have been fired, how many of them do actually find another head coaching job
this year?
Ever?
Yes, this year.
This year, 2 of them.
So Harbaugh and Stefanski.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 that have a shot.
Yeah.
Do you think the other ones would come back in a coordinator role?
Gannon probably.
Yeah.
Gannon probably. The rest of them, actually, Gannon and Raheem. Those 2 are probably coordinators.
Yeah.
Carroll is probably out of coaching, and the other guys, they may get a year off or more.
Dable might get.
Let's talk. Yeah, I was about to say. Let's talk about one that's. That's one that's fired. But I was going to say, let's talk about one that's not fired. Particularly, Brian Flores is probably going to get a job somewhere, either as a coordinator, a lateral move to another team, or maybe a head coach. I mean, it's just his name's been pushed out there so far.
The one that isn't getting any traction this year after getting quite a few phone calls last year is Mike Kafka. He, for the Giants, right? Which is the interim head coach after Dable went down. And I thought that maybe Tennessee would kick the tires on him, right? Now, obviously, they had a bad season, all that, but they weren't good the year before either when he got a lot of phone calls. So I was surprised to hear his name not in the mix at all.
I think he'd had a better shot without the interim gig, actually. I don't think his tryout went well enough to help him.
I mean, they did win a game to ruin the number 1 pick.
Well, there you go. Any team tanking doesn't want him.
Well, that's definitely why he's getting his job. He's not going to be working there for a minute. The other ones, Robert bring up a good point. Could any of those coaches go to college? The ones that are.
I don't see a candidate there. Not at a Power 4 conference for sure. And not this year.
I was going to say group of 5, maybe.
Yeah, group of 5, but not this year. The jobs are full almost. So, they'd have to wait a cycle.
The only one that I could see Pete Carroll going back to SC in an advisory role.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Not as a head coach, but as an advisory role, I could see him absolutely doing that because he almost did that anyway.
At 74 years old, unless he gets a 22-year-old girlfriend, he's not getting a head coaching job in college.
That's the trend.
Yes.
I think he's going to sit down for a year or two.
Yeah. Do you guys have any dark horses that could be head coaches right now?
I don't know.
The one that I was a little surprised about is our DC is also getting an interview with Tennessee. So I was a little surprised for that one because our DC doesn't call plays, right? Our coach does. So right. I always find it a little bit interesting when a coordinator that doesn't have to do half the coordinator jobs then gets thrust into those conversations. Not to say they're not deserving, but it always seems a little bit weird.
I could see Saleh getting another opportunity.
Yeah.
That'd be that's a good one. That's a good one. Is any team going to be silly enough, and I'm sure somebody will, to interview Kingsbury because he should not be a head coach in this league, by the way. But I keep hearing his name.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
One of them was Cleveland too.
Yes. It's your Browns. That's the team.
That's the only place I could see him landing because it's a dysfunction. He'd fit perfect in a dysfunction there.
Yeah. In fact, they should give Gannon a call. That'll work out.
He succeeded anyway.
Two ex Cardinals coaches.
You're telling me like Cliff is definitely a great offensive coordinator, but
yes,
you telling me he couldn't work with Cam Ward in Tennessee
as the OC? Yeah, not the head coach. I don't like him as a head coach. I have not seen anything out of him as a head coach at Texas Tech or the
Arizona.
Cardinals. Yeah, he had one good year where he got off 10-1 and they folded, and
he lacks the game management end.
Yes.
Like he didn't do that in Arizona at all. Like he was awful at it. Incidentally, Gannon, similarly, not great in that aspect either. But yeah, I mean, so could he go work with that quarterback? No question, right? Sure. He's a good offensive coordinator. The problem is it's the game management end that he just hasn't proven that he's good at. And I don't know that, 2 years removed or 3 years removed or whatever is going to be enough to get that taste out of people's mouths to be like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Like, I mean, again, the Browns might give him a call because, well, it's the Browns, but everybody else is like, yeah, like I kind of remember how this went and he had a decent roster.
Yeah, for sure. He had some pretty good quarterbacks at Texas Tech too and couldn't win.
Yeah, well, and during his time with Arizona, like they had a decent defense. They had Kyler Murray when he still was interested in playing football.
So
it was the tail end of Fitzgerald. Like they had dudes, and they just couldn't really do anything with them. So.
Yeah, I mean, then he had 2 seasons. He had 2 seasons where they started off really good. I think one season they were 8-0, and then the other season they were like 12 or 11 or 12 0. And they just went.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, that undefeated start, as I recall, they missed the playoffs altogether, and then that second one, I think they got in as a wild card. And in both of those scenarios, like nothing happened, right? So. Again, great at the offensive side, not great on the management side.
Yeah, speaking of coordinators, it was brought to the Lions are they need to look for an offensive coordinator. I'm sorry. Dan is giving vibes that, well, I don't know, I might he might be calling plays next year.
Bad idea.
Dude. Come on. See, that's
suicide is painless.
Anyway, somebody suggested that we get Declan Doyle, the offensive coordinator of the Bears, because he's close to Ben Johnson. I said, just because you're close to Ben Johnson, don't mean that you're Ben Johnson. Okay?
I don't think you absorb that knowledge through osmosis standing next to him.
I mean, John Morton. And I was disappointed that they fired him because, first of all, that was just dumb in the first place, taking over play calling in the middle of the season, in my opinion.
You had no choice. What could you do once you took the play calling? Well, you're not going to give it back.
Right,
So
this is true. But
him.
John Morton said he wanted to come back in another role. He wouldn't mind, didn't mind being a pass coordinator or something like that on a lesser thing. They just said, you know what, you got to go. It's like, dude, that's like disrespectful, to my opinion, but whatever. It is what it is.
I mean, and if you wanted to see the proof that proximity doesn't make you great, look at 95% of Belichick's coaching tree below him.
We go here every time.
I mean, where's the lie?
Oh, man, taking strays, Keith. Taking the strays.
I will tell you again, his job wasn't to develop head coaches.
No, but I mean, at the same time, right? Like, if you want to see a tree that just has like a dead root, it's that one, right? Like, it grows.
It bears no good fruit.
Is that I can't disagree with any of those comments. Is it really the hallmark of a great coach, the coaches that come from that tree, though? Is it, or is it winning and winning?
It's a good part of their resume. I mean, they could say, well, this coach went here and was successful. Yes. A coach that I had was under me. Yeah.
There's a legacy.
I'm not saying that's something that's going to be sealing somebody's leg. Well, it could be something.
No, like it adds depth to the legacy. Sure, you were good at what you did. Yeah. You won championships, and that's awesome. You are unequivocally the guy when it comes to coaching. But what it does mean is you can't develop talent around you.
That's not his job, though.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Well, I get what Bo is saying is that you have some guys that is evident that you were able to develop, and because you see it in their development, in their game, their coaching. I mean, like Walsh. I mean, you see all the guys that came from Walsh in San Francisco. I mean, Holmgren.
There you go. We can actually give you the easiest parallel ever. And it happens to be in this year's college playoff for the last 4 teams. What tree are all 4 coaches from? Saban.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, look at some guys do just have great coaches follow them around.
Damn good.
Right.
All 4 teams
all
left.
4.
But I'm not willing to say, but the parallel for me, if I'm going to look at one and make a comparison on this topic, is Bill Walsh a greater head coach with his 3 Super Bowl wins than Bill Belichick in his 6.
He's a greater teacher.
Because he also, it's fair. That's not what I asked.
No, but that's why I made the comment that it adds depth to your legacy.
Not a fair question, Keith, because he retired soon. He retired early. He didn't just say, I'm going to go try to win more and win more. And the guy that he left the team to won a Super Bowl still, and with the same team, George Seifert. So it's hard to say that he wasn't better than Bill Belichick because he left early. He kind of left early.
So I'll give him that ring. That's still 4. And Bill, people forget Bill Walsh also benched the second best quarterback of all time before he needed to. There's a few warts on Walsh's.
No, for sure.
And Bo, to give you some credit, it's not just the 4 guys that were left. One of those teams beat one of his guys that was, in Georgia, Kirby Smart. Wow. Yeah. So Nick Saban is just
he's far away.
Yeah. He is a good college
but
coach.
No, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that he was
By
able
the
to
way, let me say one thing. Actually, I have one good thing to say about Belichick's coaching career or tree, and that's Saban. People always leave him out of this equation, but he started out in the pros on the Cleveland.
A DB coach under him, yes, for sure. Yep. In Cleveland, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there you go. I rest my case.
Hey, man, that's crown him. You want to crown him, then crown his ass.
I mean,
right? Just to go back to my point about
what was the point?
The Lions and their offensive.
Robbie right there is 100% right, especially coming in at the conversation where he did.
Yep, we're a bunch of jackwagons. Anyway. But yeah, David Blau is another guy that they have interest in as an offensive coordinator. I know a lot of Lions fans are poo-pooing over that situation, but I mean, nobody knew who Ben Johnson was when he first started, and he's not he's the Ben Johnson he is now because he was given that opportunity. So I don't wish people to poo-poo any of these coaching decisions they make as long as it's not Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell's like, well, we interview an offensive coordinator that's going to be gone in next year. I mean, that's the NFL, dude. Come on. Don't be copping out on stuff.
I'm just going to have to tell you that Ben Johnson made the job hard for the next man to come in and fill his shoes. It's just what it is. I mean, I'm not saying that this guy that you're interviewing.
Sure. It sure the hell isn't Dan Campbell filling them shoes.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying that the guy you're talking about coming in is not going to be good, or if he gets the job. I'm just saying that it's going to be hard for any guy to come in and have to fill that shoe. But some guy is going to come up, like you said, and it could be talented. I mean, you have a nice structure of offense. I mean, or player personnel to be able to work with. So hopefully, it's some guy that comes that's innovative that can do some things with that because the talent is there.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily looking for somebody that's the outstanding offensive coach of the year. You have players, and the players are very good at their position. So I mean, it's nothing that they just got to have some kind of creativity in the situation, and something that Dan Campbell does not have. He's got a lot of predictable play calling too, and it's just, dude. I know you're prideful. See, this is why I keep talking. I love Dan Campbell. He is a great head coach. He is. But stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane. Do not be an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. That's why you have offensive and defensive coordinator. So you can stay in your lane.
I've had this feeling, Brian, all year that when he took over the play calling duties, it's when the Bears got hot and Ben Johnson was doing well, and he felt the need to one up Ben Johnson. Am I right or wrong?
It's ego. It's just plain fact ego. And it smacks people in the face. They just don't want to, acknowledge the smack, and that's the point that I'm trying to make with him. He's egotistical. He's like Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes does the same kind of stuff, but at a general manager position. That's all. It's like, oh, we don't need anybody to help Hutch out. We don't need any defense. We're good. No, you're not. You're not good. Obviously the defense has been the part of the problem these last few seasons, including the time when they went to San Francisco. It's not. They got to fix something there. It's starting to wear heavy on people. I mean, I know this franchise has been the most successful it has been since the 50s with these guys, but hey, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. I mean, I know every team is trying to win a Super Bowl, but you got to find some way to do it.
Problem with that is this next year is it before you start having to pay a lot of guys, because you're in the 4th and 5th year. So then you're starting to go into the retooling end. So you've already kind of worked through that first window.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody's going to, they're already going to Goff. Well, they're getting ready to go to Goff to see if he can restructure his contract. I mean, they're going to go to a few players to see if they can restructure their contract so they can get better players and pay the ones that that are coming up, like Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the focal points. I'm not so sure about Porter and Brian Branch, although Brian Branch is probably one of the catalyst on the defense, along with Kirby. And we don't know what Kirby's situation is right now. He's got this knee thing going on, and it's not career ending as if he gets surgery on it. But the point is, neither one of those corners, neither one of those safeties might not be there starting the season next year.
Yeah.
So your whole thinking has got to change as far as free agency or draft. And then they got to worry about Decker retiring. They got to worry about Glasgow retiring. They got a center issue that they have to solve. So, I mean, with all that being said, I mean, they got a lot of work to do this offseason. Figure it out.
And your division didn't get easier.
No, it did not. And it's going to be better next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the first time the division has been every team has been over 500 since, 1935?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's not going to get better. And the teams in the NFC aren't going to get any, save some of the teams, but most of the NFC teams will be as good as they were this year too. So
yeah, like Arizona, they'll be every bit as good as they were this year.
Well, we hope not. We got to blame. I hope not. But yeah, we played it. I know the Lions played the NFC South this year, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll just say sorry, Kim, if you're watching, because I just buried her team for no reason.
Don't need a reason.
Well, let's see. Congratulations to Bo Seattle, Keith New England. It's just me and James sitting over here, just looking outside. Yeah, just like, damn.
Yeah, but I'm looking in the window with some bright hopes and for the future.
Oh yeah, the future's always bright. Yeah, the future's always bright. Just like I said, the Lions will retool. New Orleans is up there getting their stuff together. So I think they're one of the better teams in that division right now, actually. That their ceiling is pretty high.
We ended up with a top 10 defense. So
before we get out of here, since we're getting close, do you think the Chargers have much of a shot against the Patriots?
Oh,
how good of a game do you think that actually is?
I think it'll be close, but I don't think they have. I think the Patriots will win this game. I don't think there's any. Herbert's too banged up. Patriots are playing well. I mean, one bad against the Bills. Other than that, the momentum, Jack. Yes, momentum's a real thing. The Patriots have built a lot of momentum, except for that one half, and they're playing too well. The defense is back. They've got some people back from injury the last week. Will Campbell's back. A defensive lineman, I'm forgetting his name, came from the Eagles, run stopper. He's back, and that's a huge plus for this team. I don't think it'll be any great blowout, but I do think the Patriots win this game fairly easily.
Hey, don't underestimate that Chargers defense, though.
That's good.
No, it's a good defense.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to make the game closer than people think, but I like the Patriots as well. I like the Patriots in this game.
Yeah, since we're on that stretch there, and we got the playoffs this weekend. What about the Rams at Carolina?
Rams.
Damn.
Sorry, Sonia.
Matthew Stafford looked better in his game. He finished off with 4 TDs or something like that.
Yeah.
But man, is Devontae Adams going to be playing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He'll be back.
He's got to be back, man. I just think because the Panthers had their number in that game, man. They showed him up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do it again.
They do play well.
They had Stafford's number. Stafford played a very bad game in that one.
Yeah.
And they're going back to Carolina.
Yeah, and
There-
this is what I was trying to tell Sonia earlier about that whole situation. I said, he's not going to go back to that. He's not going to go to Carolina with that thought, like, dude, I can't do what I did last time. He's got to wash that from his brain. He's got to go in there saying, I got to play like Stafford plays and not throw the those interceptions and stuff like that. Because he played it pretty. It was, and they were still in the game. But they strip sacked him at the end, and that's I thought for sure you give Stafford any chance in the end of the game, it's over for you because he's the king of comebacks.
So here's
I got the Rams, but I got the game being close, not getting Panthers aren't getting
so
smashed.
the line on this game. The line on this game is 10.5.
That's too much
for the away team.
It is too much.
Yeah, I think it is too much.
But here's where this gets interesting. The offense for the Panthers, it's 27th in the league. Like, they don't have a good offense, right? Like, they survive on their defense. The problem is their defense is kind of middle of the road, right? It's a 15th ranked defense going against the number one team when it comes to points and yardage. I don't see them getting lucky the way they did last time. Like, I think the Rams are going to go in mad about how it happened last time. And although I think 10.5 is too big of a line, I think it is 10 points. I think the half is what makes me not take the line on it. But I absolutely see them winning by 10.
That game's got backdoor cover written all over it.
No question. Yeah, no, as soon as there's that hook on it, it's like, oh, yeah, no.
I'm staying away from that game altogether.
Exactly.
My question is, what's the Rams' record in the last 4 games?
1-3, so not great.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they go in there and do some things. I'm not trusting them right now.
Oh,
and yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't. They're not going to cover that minus 10.5.
Yeah,
I think the game's going to be a lot closer than people think. But I got the Rams in this.
That's
one.
too much. Yeah. Green Bay and Chicago. I'm sorry, Keith, if I'm holding you back there. I know you got.
I'll stay for another minute.
Green Bay at
we
Chicago.
got him tied up anyway. He can't just escape.
Green Bay is favored by 1.5 over Chicago. What you got on this one there, Keith?
I'm going to take the Bears, and I think there's another coach that could end up being talked about in the next week or so, adding to Bo's list if he loses this game. I like the Bears.
They have the better roster all the way around. So I will take the Bears here. The only way the Bears lose this is if they get in their own head about it being Green Bay. That's how they lose this game. If they go out and they play really sloppy because they're like, if they get behind at some point and then they're like, oh no, it's Green Bay, we're going to lose this game. If they lose it on the mental side, that also probably leans into LaFleur getting fired. But that's how the Bears lose this game, because when you look at the roster construction, the Bears are a better team.
Agreed.
Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Go back to old school Bears, Manungai, DeAndre Swift. Just give these boys the ball and I know your defense isn't all that great. This ain't the 1985 Bears. This ain't even the 2007 Bears. It's teddy bears. But get out there and play. Teddy Grahams.
Their defense is rough.
They're opportunistic. Yeah. Let's just say that they can get a lot of turnovers, but when they say bend but don't break, boy, they bending like Beckham. So we'll see. We'll see. But I like the Bears too.
You're not wrong. They're 29th in the league as far as what they do. So
the turnover thing is going to kill them in the playoffs, because you're going to have teams that are going to be disciplined and not do that. Fall into that range. The turnovers that they get are basically against bad teams this season anyway, and that's not going to happen in the playoffs. So that's where they're going to win this game. But I think the next game is not going to be. It's going to be their last game.
I would agree.
When you look at the last game, the last 5 for both these teams, it's terrible. Green Bay is 1-4, and the Bears are 2-3. Like, neither one of them are going into this hot.
Thanks, Jay.
And Love, specifically not being hot. Speaking of not being hot, Love is rusty. He's going to come in a little bit of rusty because he hadn't played in the last couple of games.
Yeah, well, and I think Malik is still not even available.
You're right.
So,
yeah.
So
Next game
help.
we got on Sunday, Buffalo Bills taking on Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. Bills got a 1.5 point favor right on this game, and I kind of like that.
I'm going to take the Bills until Jacksonville proves me wrong. Listen, they played a lot better. They've proved me and a lot of us who were not believers, at least three quarters of the way through the season, that we're wrong. They're a good football team. But the Bills, I'm not writing off the Bills. People want to write off the Bills right and left. As long as they got Josh Allen and they got the best running back in the league right now, and James Cook in my mind, I think this team will find a way to win this game. Might be their only playoff win, but I do think they'll win this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I just don't believe the Jags are that team, right? Like they're probably down the stretch here. One of the better teams in the AFC, right? Like they've been playing incredibly well. And do I think Josh Allen can be a superhero for 4 straight games? No, I don't. I still think they beat the Jags because I just don't believe in the Jags.
Yeah, we're all the same place.
Not me, sir. Not me. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to take the Jags with the upset at home. I think that the ankle when the 2 games ago when they lost that game, I think that it might be a bit of a problem for Josh Allen. And I think that defense is very underrated. And I like Liam Cohen as a coach, and he's probably a candidate for Coach of the Year. He turned his team around. He's getting the best use out of Sunshine, and I think that if Sunshine ties his hair into a ponytail, he'll be even better. Just keep that hair tucked in and just keep his head tucked down and go forward because they have no good run defense. Again, we were talking about this all season with the Bills. Now it's time to put up a shut up and see what happens in the playoffs. And I think they're going to run the ball well. And I think the quarterback's going to have an option to run the ball too. I just think the Jags are going to be too much for the Bills at home. I like them in the upset here.
So where this game is really the upset. It's a 1 point.
I hope they enjoy their trip to Foxborough in 2 weeks.
But I mean, I think where this gets really interesting is the obviously the Bills' number 1 rushing attack against the Jags' number 1 rushing defense. Like that's going to be pretty cool to see. It's just on the other end that it doesn't quite square up the same, right? You have the number 1 pass defense when it comes to the Bills against a Trevor Lawrence that outside of the last 6 games is a little bit of a turnover machine. And so that's where I expect him to turn back into a pumpkin at some point. That's
the thing. They don't have to throw the ball like that much. You can run against a team. Tell me if you can pull it up. Look up the Bills' run defense. What is their run defense? It's probably 31.
29th.
So it's 28.
Yeah.
28.
Run the ball against them. That's
it went up one.
Yeah, it went up one. But but when you look at the Jags, they're the 20th rushing attack. So it's not like they're awesome. Like they're fine. Yeah. They're solid. But I mean, it's their passing game that's 11th, right? But if you have the number 1 defense when it comes to passing against an 11th, all of a sudden it makes that running game much harder. So I do think these two square off really well against each other. Like this is going to be a close game. 1 point spread.
I agree with that.
Actually, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think the Bills probably end up snagging this, and only because of just the history of watching the Jags. Not over the last 5 games where they're 5-0, but at the same time, the Bills are 4-1 in that same stretch.
All right. So we got San Francisco at Philadelphia later that day. Philadelphia is favored by 5.5. This game is kind of weird to me, this matchup. What do you got on this, Keith?
As much as I don't want to pick the Eagles because I haven't liked the Eagles a lot this year, the 49ers are so banged up. The way they played that last game against Seattle, I can't see this team mustering a whole lot on the road against the Eagles. Brock Purdy's arm strength just scares me to death. It always has. So I can't carry a team. He gets in trouble. Everything is short hopped. He's going to be under great duress against this Philly defense. And I think Philadelphia gets this offense in rhythm a little bit here. It might be their only win of the playoffs, but I think they beat the 49ers here.
Robbie.
So I'm leaning towards the Niners here. And one of the reasons, obviously they have no pass rush. They haven't for half the season with Warner and Bosa out. But the back end of that defense finds a way to keep games close. Like they do find ways to keep it close. And then outside of playing Seattle, that has the best defense in the league at this point, they're putting up 30 to 40 points on everybody. So they're going to score some points. Now, one of the things that makes me lean a little bit towards the Niners here is the fact that Jalen Carter is questionable with a hip injury. If Jalen Carter isn't ready to go and you let Purdy have a minute, that's a problem.
Now they got CMC too. It's not like he's
no, exactly. The Eagles are a 4.5-point favorite at home, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's still top 10 in rushing, and I don't know what he had in all-purpose yards, or yards from scrimmage, but I'm pretty sure it's up there.
And Warner's coming back.
Yeah,
this first game.
Last time I checked, he said he was. Yeah.
I thought he was out, but
Warner's out. As soon as he can be back is if they make it to the championship round.
Yeah. I heard him.
Yeah, the guy that's coming back is Trent Williams, I believe, is I think he is questionable at the moment. Yeah, with a hamstring, but they're expecting him to come back, which that's a huge a huge return for them. Also expected to have Kittle.
This is where I think the Eagles show who they are. Either they're going to be the actual wizard or they're going to be the man behind the curtain. And I just think that I think they have talent enough on this team and everybody's banged up like you said, Keith, the 49ers have gotten this far, but I think they're limping across the line, and I think it's going to be tough. And I think the Eagles will have enough talent-wise, even with Jalen out. I think they still can beat them offensively. I think they get it together and they win this in a closer game. I don't know what the spread is on this one, but I think it's
5.5 for Philly.
Yeah, I think by 3 Philly wins this one.
Great coaching job by Kyle Shanahan this year. He's probably not going to win Coach of the Year, but maybe he should.
He should.
Yeah, he should.
Absolutely.
Should,
well, and it's funny because people have been buying up the Eagles because it opened at 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of with San Francisco against Seattle. Seattle has a really good defense. I mean, I kind of saw that in the first place. That's why I picked Seattle over San Francisco the last week. Seattle's just got a great defense. I can't. You got to remember they beat Chicago the game before. I mean, Purdy was out there looking like Steve Young. So I mean, he was just out there throwing the ball. So, and I'm not really appreciative of the Philadelphia Eagles defense this year. I don't think they're that good. I think they're good, but they're not that good. Sometimes they step up, and sometimes they just fall flat. Against the Chicago Bears is one of those times. James is right. This is where you're going to see whether Philadelphia is for real or just clowning around here. But I got San Francisco in this game too. I just don't see Philly in this. Last game of the playoff weekend is Houston Texans at Pittsburgh.
I'm afraid for Aaron Rodgers' health in this game. Texans defense. You talk about Seattle's defense. This pass rush for the Texans is monstrous, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be in big trouble this weekend. The question is whether the Texans can score any points themselves, because their offense has not set the world on fire even during this long winning streak that they had just ended. I like the Texans to find a way to win this game, though. Might be 3-2, but they'll win.
Yeah, I got the Texans here. The Steelers don't do anything particularly well.
No, nothing. That's a good point.
Except for beating Baltimore, but that's about it. What you got, James?
I guess now you got to look at whether DK Metcalf comes back and redeems himself for missing 2 games. I mean, they got lucky to get into the playoffs. Let's call it what it is. If the kicker makes the field goal, we're not even talking about the Steelers right now. I think I like an upset here. I like the Steelers. They won the division. They're going to be at home. The Texans got to come there and play out in the cold weather. I don't know how cold it's going to be out there, but I mean, that defense is still pretty rough, and Aaron Rodgers is 40 plus. But I just think DK and what they find a way. They find a way to win a very close game, and I think that defense is going to be a little bit for the Steelers is going to be a little bit amped up as well to play well against that offense. That's not that great in Houston. I mean, I think they're okay.
I mean,
DK
almost crashed out. DK almost crashed out in a press conference because they kept trying to ask him about the fan thing, and he's like, "Hey, I can't, I can't talk about it, right? Because it's still under investigation, whatever." And then there were basically like 4 different versions of it, and then he almost crashed out at the end of that for the 5th time. This is not that, and then you're just like, okay, and then the video cuts out, and you're like, oh, okay, like you're going to be able to get under his skin. So, like, if that's the case, then he could actually cost you the game, because we watched him do that for us numerous times, where he goes and has a mental issue during the game and gets a 15-yard unsportsmanlike drive killer. We lost to the Bengals his last season because of that. So it's I could see DK being a big asset and a hindrance all at the same time.
A big asset or just a big ass?
Yeah, that's more or less what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the playoffs, but what travels during the playoffs usually?
Defense.
Keith, there you go, Keith.
Defense travels.
Defense travels, and Houston's got that defense, and as good as Metcalf could come back to be, we'll just say, just on a hypothesis here. But Stingley is out there. Stingley's out there. Lassiter's out there.
Just for fun, the offense for your Steelers, your upset class here is 25th in total yards, 22nd in passing, 26th in rushing, 15th in scoring. Going against the first team in total yards, 7th in passing, 4th in rushing, and 2nd in points. That sure doesn't sound like they're going to do a lot.
I mean, the only thing that you're going to have to look for in this game is the offense. I think C.J. Stroud really needs to come out. The running game needs to get going. They definitely need that running game to get going.
They don't have it.
The C.J. Stroud, hey, he could do like he did the last game, throw 2 touchdowns and that's it. In the beginning of the game, and not just be pedestrian for the rest of the game and still win because the defense has got him. So,
Jay, how you get 15th in scoring is defensive scores. That's how you do that with your offense being terrible everywhere. That's how you get to 15.
All right. So thank you, Keith, for being patient and staying.
No worries.
Like I said, I know you have a show to do, but this will conclude this show. We went a little bit over. It's a new year. Hey, we're unprofessional. Who cares?
I need the overtime.
You need overtime.
I need the overtime.
And by the way, Robbie is our resident Pittsburgh Steeler fan. I'll just let you know.
I've just figured that out.
Yeah.
I was picking up on that, especially with the crash outs are normal here in Pittsburgh at the wide receiver position. So that being said, 23, about to be 23-1.
Yeah. 23-1. Yeah, because Houston is. I'm sorry, Houston's just too better of a defense, and that's something Aaron Rodgers hasn't seen too much of. So We'll see how that.
I've been counting Aaron Rodgers out the whole season, and it's like, okay, he's still around. Oh my goodness!
Go back and watch your Cleveland tape.
Just for another 40 minutes. You'll be all right. Anyway, so we'll conclude this show. Y'all have a very good rest of your evening. Catch Keith next on his show, the college show, right, Keith? Yeah, college show.
Sports Huddle, yep.
College sports huddle show, yeah. So everybody have a great evening.
I think he's doing that on purpose because I fumbled the McGrath stream podcast so often.
Hey, I gotta learn too, man. I gotta learn too all these shows. So what's a producer if he doesn't know all the shows? Not a producer anymore. But anyway, so we'll see you next week, folks, for the Unprofessional Professional show. Again, thanks to Keith, James, and Bo. Everybody have a great night.